Hi YouTube, welcome back to Wtf Rc Cars. So I'm going to take you through the throttle and steering servo speed settings for the NB4 because it has changed quite a bit over the different firmware updates, and this is on the 2.0.93, I think it is, this one. So the throttle and steering servo speed settings were done as a percentage, I believe, in earlier firmwares, and now they're done in tenths of a second. And there is quite a difference in the way the steering works to the throttle, and I'll just show you that. So if we go into settings and then we go into main menu and then channel speed, so if you see, we've got steering front and back. But if we go into the throttle, you've got it still measured as 0.0 seconds. But you've got throttle and brake to what it seems. So the forward and back, I'm guessing it only alters the either forward direction and the return speed, and back will do the same but for brake or reverse. So it does get a little complicated, but basically if we were to just dial on 0.2 of a second delay in both directions, and then if I pull trigger, the green lines move straight away. They don't seem to make any difference. Let's see if I can demo that on the car. So the second I touch the trigger, it just starts accelerating straight away. Now if I dial that all the way up to 1 second on both directions, now you can see there's a very slight delay. And if I put it all the way up to 2 in both directions, now this thing, there's a delay on the throttle, but then there's a delay in it putting brake on as well. So it's going to take a bit of getting your head around how this works. So if you're on throttle forward, it won't make a difference to when you're reversing. It will make a difference, the return speed, to how quick the brake will come on. So I personally would never put any delay on the reverse, on the return speed on forward, because if you want to brake, you want to brake. The only use I can think of for the go speed, as it's put on the controller, is if you're trying to tame down an RC for someone that's not so used to it. So if you put a 3-second delay on and you hit the throttle, it will slowly add that throttle over 3 seconds. So it's not going to be as erratic for them. But if they let go, it'll back off the throttle straight away. And if they hit brake or reverse, it will brake or reverse straight away. Now, you could also dial this delay in if you wanted to set it up for drag racing and you just wanted to hit the throttle and let the controller slowly put the power on. Personally, you're always better off doing it manually, because no matter how good you get with letting the controller slowly feed your power on over time, you will never beat a guy that's basically doing it all off his own skill level. So yes, it's kind of fun to use that feature for a drag race, but you're ultimately you're never learning the skill to do a drag race. But that's just my own take on it. You can use it for that. So we've got this set at over 4 seconds now. So there you can see it slowly winds up over 4 seconds. Now the steering is a different matter. So same menu, but if we go into steering, if we add just 0.2 of a second, Now that's made that servo really tame. If I take it off, so you can see the full power of it, but if I dial the exact same 1 whole second in, bearing in mind this is now going to take an entire second to react, but that's not the same as what we get in on the throttle. I mean, that's going, what, 1, 2, it's taking more than a second to get to the point where I'm telling it to go to. So if I put the same 2 seconds in as what we did on throttle, you've pretty much got no steering whatsoever. So I'm not sure what they actually did with the steering, but the steering the only really effective use I can see for it is to dial it into a maximum of 0.2 of a second, and that slows the servo down, and it will make it more tame for a more inexperienced driver. 3 really slows it down, but if I put it to just 1/10 of a second, that to my eyes doesn't seem any different from that, which is 0, but maybe it is. It's hard to tell. But basically, they're your different settings for your throttle and your steering. Not sure how much use these would be for me. If I'm buying a servo because it's fast, I want it fast. Likewise, if the RC is just way too fast for you and you're having to dial in a delay for throttle, you've probably wasted your money on the speed control and the motor setup that you've put in that vehicle. It's either too much for the vehicle or way too much for you. And dialing in the delay on the controller will you're never going to increase your skill and be able to use it without that delay. So the only use I can really see for it is if you're letting somebody that's a lot less experienced than yourself drive your RC. You can tame it down. As I say, on the throttle, I would not put any delay on the return, and I wouldn't put any delay on the brakes either. There is a lot better settings you can use to tame the vehicle down with throttle exponential and steering exponential than the actual slowing the throttle down and slowing the servo down. But at least you know what them settings do now, and the difference between how it reacts on the throttle and how it reacts on a servo. So, thanks again for watching WTF Rc Cars. If you find this kind of video useful, like, subscribe and share to friends and family. And I'll catch you guys again in the next one.